Good morning. I am higher vibrations, and so are you. We'll figure this out. I know some of you are confused that we're starting now instead of later. And this is because where I live, it's daylight saving, or it was a couple, like what, 12 hours ago or something like that, where 2 o'clock became 1 o'clock or something like that. Wait, 2 o'clock became 3 o'clock. Uh, yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a global dark night of the soul happening. A lot of people, not to say that everybody's going through it, though. The amount of people, there's a lot of people who hadn't at least finished it or something like that. Like the way spirit shows it to me, everything looks like stairs. Like, and there's a step that leads up the staircase, right? Spirit's very melodic when they speak. They talk about song and music and sound, how spirit works and stuff. So anyway, sometimes there's a step or a stair that we haven't stood on, haven't like completed or something like that. And so some people are going back and like addressing those stairs that hadn't been addressed previously. And then there's the vast majority are people who didn't know, didn't know all the way, or didn't want to know, whatever it was. The reluctant awakening ones now are waking up. And there's definitely a good global dark night of the soul happening. And why we're talking about this right now is it's affecting us. It's affecting a lot of people. We're feeling it. We're feeling other people. We're feeling as the collective awakens, at least begins this part of their awakening. So too do we find this almost feels like destabilized energy, because we're motion upward. The motion upward that's happening seems to be so accelerated. We've been kind of in a stasis for a while, right? We've had like this stuff going on, but we haven't had some certain spikes like we are right now. And by the way, to mention just on a side, the KP index has been jumping up around today. In fact, maybe I'll bring it up here so I can show it to you guys. It's not incredibly massive. All right, now it's showing absolutely no reading. There we go. Okay, now we're back down again. So we've been going up to here. I'll just show it to you. I can pull this out here. The KP index is something that we follow in order to see like the strength of energy in the planet. Why is it not doing this? There we go. My computer's like not wanting to participate, and I don't blame it. Okay, so this one is the HP 30 because this is the KP. It's just the HP 30 is a measurement that it follows per half an hour instead of every 3 hours or something. So each one of these bars is a half hour of time. So you count backward, right? But we had a couple of good sized spikes the past little bit here. So any of you that have been feeling that, that helps you to understand we have had some geomagnetic storms happening, right? So along with that, I think that it has more to do with like, here, let me get this, with our ascension in our own way too, because as people are finally awakening, it's like we're one, right? Everybody thinks, oh, that person's ahead of me, they've been doing this longer. No, we're all one. And so as we move forward, so too does the whole band, right? And also, when the end of the band isn't in motion, trudging forward isn't really that possible by that very far, much farther, right? And so it's kind of like this relief for a lot of us that we're noticing we're able to move forward and progress in some ways. And as a result, there's a lot of emotional kind of watery stuff going on. We've got this, really weird, almost melancholy, kind of like a little sadness. Maybe some people have reported rage. I've noticed bursts of anger or irritability come up. But for the most part, it's just been without any placement. It doesn't belong anywhere. It's moving through, kind of like melancholy or even just sadness. Just like, wow, I just feel like crying. But it feels good to let that. It feels good. I don't know what to So if that's you, that there's a lot of other people talking about this too, along with crazy dreams. Vivid, lucid dreaming is starting to become more and more pronounced and easy to, or consistently accessed anyhow. Um, Along with this, difficulty sleeping. And then on top of that, fatigue, incredible exhaustion. It's like, what is going on? And then, I know we had got some stuff go. First of all, Venus and Saturn are in conjunction um, in the constellation of Pisces. That's going to be the lower setting sun kind of part of the sky, the lower western sky. You're going to want to look just after sunset because it's really close to the sun. But they're conjunct tonight. They are right now, really. And so we will feel a lot of that. So, Saturn, time. And then you got, Venus. So there's like this divine feminine quality being, observed through the chronosphere of our reality and kind of releasing. And the Venus is very watery for me too, you know. So along with this fatigue, I was talking about also fatigue, just feeling just not real able, and that's okay. We're meant to observe our energy, embrace our energy, to honor ourselves. A lot of times it feels like we've been conditioned anyway or indoctrinated to believe that there's something selfish about self-care, like there's something wrong and flawed, about the logic of taking care of yourself. And that's asinine. It makes absolutely no sense, right? But we believed it for a really long time. Of course, the ear ringing stuff still going on. Pretty pronounced, though. It's been different. It's been a different kind of ringing lately. It's been so subtle. It's something really fascinating is happening there. And then that otherworldly, dizzy, kind of floaty, spinny kind of feeling that a lot of people have been reporting on and off over the recent months and stuff is really coming in strong right now for me. I really don't feel like I'm actually right here. There's something with that for sure. And then the body purging, in particular through mucus and skin kind of stuff. So a lot of people are noticing rashes or redness, acne-like symptoms that seem like acne because they have some type of a cyst to it, or like you're something that needs to be popped from the pore. And this is stuff leaving our bodies through our pores. This happens all the time. It's been happening our whole lives, and it will likely continue. This mucus like stuff is toxins. We're also noticing it leaving through the sinus region of the body, so you'll notice it here and here. And along with that, we'll also be we're also getting these weird, like ocular related, phenomenon. Everybody's got something different going on. It's really fascinating. Though one of the most commonly reported things is irritated eyes, and then seeing things, being able to see energy bodies that you wouldn't typically see or hadn't previously experienced before. um, Orbs, silhouettes of individuals. Sometimes it's like a shadow or something, like just like just runs past your vision. Most people are reporting the ones that are floating close to the ground, like it's running across the ground. People keep saying that they keep thinking they're seeing mice and things like that. These are all the beginning of us bringing in our sight, the sight, right? And so you may also be noticing a headache or stuff going on here, like acne kind of stuff coming off of there. Your third eye is purging, and so when we're having these types of things occurring, we'll also notice that our bodies crave mineral salt more, water more, things like that, because it helps to and assists the purging process, both due to giving it a vehicle to travel on, the sweat, right? And to replenish the stores of that mechanism, which is again the sweat. So our bodies require more water when that happens. um, Anyway, I'm going to grab some of your comments. Thank you all for joining. There's been a lot going on. And I do want to talk a little bit at some point. We are doing a retreat. It's going to be freaking awesome. And I'm really excited about it. And I'll bring that up in a little bit. But I just kind of want to show you guys this is that's what the background's for. It's going to be awesome. We're all going to have a gathering here, a retreat here in Arkansas. Hello, Lois. Good to see you. Welcome. Lyra's here. Welcome. PhD Bri, a delight to see you no matter what time. Always a delight. Oh, thank you. Good to see you, Bri. Welcome. Good to see everybody here. Go Merc, Rec retrograde in Pisces, fishes, be all cornfused. Cornfused. I like that. That's funny. Yeah, Mercury and it's funny the kind of stuff that Mercury is doing right now. Mercury and Neptune are really fascinating to watch right now. There's a lot of things that they're doing that they're drawing a line of some knowledge in the sky above us. Long says, hi all, nice to be here with you guys. Thanks to Mela and Lightworkers for all your work. We got this. We do. And it's a really exciting time. I know it's kind of funny. We feel like this is the part where you just your energy goes down and we sometimes will think to ourselves, well, did I do something wrong? Why is my energy depleted, feeling depleted? And that's actually good. You know what I mean? It's not bad anyway. It's showing us that this is the point of rest. We're at the point of rest. We're in the shadow of something else that's so Jupiter ends retrograde on the 10th, and some reckonings it's the 11th. So that's really fascinating that there's kind of a discrepancy there. Or anyway, with that window of time, that's when a lot of things are going to be kind of picking back up for a little bit energy wise. And then really, it's really fascinating that this coming Friday is the second Friday the 13th in a row. Hey, it's 3/13 when I say that too. This is the second Friday the 13th in a row, which is really fascinating. I don't actually remember that happening before. I'm sure it has. I haven't looked it up. And then we have the most noted meteor shower of the year anyway, the Normand meteor shower, so that's going to be really at like 6 meteors per hour, sometimes 7 per hour. I can't remember for sure. Lots of stuff going on coming up. So right now we're kind of resting up. We're letting ourselves kind of rejuvenate, be in some kind of repose. At the same time, I'm noticing that we have a lot of plans. Everyone seems to be planning, lists and we're creating a retreat. We're doing all kinds of stuff over here too. Though I'm noticing a lot of people are talking about that. So yes, Mila says the P factor. Somehow I felt a helpful breakthrough last night. Finally, I'm so glad. Yeah, there's stuff coming in, helpers coming in. And so we're busy all night at night. Yeah, not just last night. Lyra, I am so tired, right? Because when we wake up, it's like we need a nap from our sleep. I found that to be true every time. Like I've become the person again. I was like this at one point in my life, but I'm that person again where I set multiple alarms because I know I'm going to snooze it. It's just going to happen. And I'm just don't want to be, missing something. So there's some serious noticeable stuff going on with that. You know what I mean? Just all the different people that are coming in, individuals they call themselves people. People doesn't mean human. Exactly. Which makes sense to me. People are individuals. And so they're coming in and talking with us. Some of them are interdimensional. Some of them are what we would consider galactic. Some of them are angelic. And some of them are all of those qualifications depending on what school of thought you come from, which is, doesn't mean it's not intended to be confusing. It's just one of those things. And anyway, they're coming in and interacting with us while we're in the sleep state. We're actually in astral. Most of the time we're in rest and sleep, and we're closing timelines there too. I know it sounds I don't know what I would have thought if someone told me this 30 years ago, 20 years ago. You know, when I was deep in the social work world, I still question some of the things, but yeah, something, I don't know what some I would have thought, but I hear myself sometimes. I get what some people are hearing, you know what I mean? But this stuff's really happening. It's really occurring, and it's stuff we've known about for a great number of years. It's just we didn't learn to believe it, you know? So there's that. For anyone wondering, by the way, this retreat that we're talking about is on June 19th, 20th, and 21st. And you can also buy additional days to make it be a total of 5 days for the retreat. It's really, really going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a small group of people, you know, so there's like, we're selling, I think, 33 tickets or something like that. And if you are interested, the link for that is in the description of this video. You can check out that website. I'll talk about that some more too, a little bit, but it's really super exciting. We made it affordable so everybody can come. Yeah, imagine someone pulling on your cheek, and the other way they'll let go. That is, we can seek. They'll let go as we can seek the laugh, the goof. I don't know what you said. I'm so sorry. Let me try that again. Yeah, imagine someone pulling on your cheek, and the only way that'll let go. Okay, I say that'll go. The only way that'll let go is we can seek the laugh, the goof. I gotcha. So someone's pulling on your cheek, and the only way that makes sense. I like that. So the only way to like release their hands from your cheek is to start laughing. That makes a lot of sense, though, too. I actually do resonate with that. And I do love the way you spell things, by the way. I really do love that it just takes a little bit more effort for me. Because, you know, the way, I think that's part of the magic of how it's written that way, though. Because then you actually have to pay more attention. Feeling tired and sleepy. Right, me too. So tired. I can't, yeah. I mean, officially, it's 3 p.m., 3:18. However, hey, it's 3:18 on 3, it's 3:18 on 3/8. Anyway, typically we'd be going live in an hour from now, you know, and it's just that daylight saving happened here where I'm at. And but it's not just that. Like, I feel like we missed out on like 5 hours. So like 5 hours of sleep is what it feels like. It doesn't feel like it was just one, you know what I mean? Asinine. Yeah, I love that word. That's a fun word. My daughter brings it every time I say that. She's like, "Oh, you said the A word." She's so funny. Hello, good to see you, Jim. Welcome. It always amazes me that when you do the rundown of let me see what the rest of your comment. There you go. It always amazes me when you do the rundown on common symptoms. I nod in agreement and check off my symptoms. I check my symptoms off the long list. That's really cool. I'm glad that helps. And that's why I do that. I try to do that before I read anybody's comments, because I know how validating that is. If someone says what you're experiencing before you said it, then it's, yeah, we're good. You know what I mean? And so I do that on purpose. Otherwise, I would just jump into your comments probably, you know, but it helps. It helps to know that you're really legitimately going through something that's a collective experience that many are having right now. Good to see you, Jill. And Maya says, my skin is so dry. It looks like snake skin if you look closely at it, even though I apply oil every day. Yeah. Yeah, this is, so this has a lot to do with what we're talking about with the purge. There's something about a layer off of it. I don't know if you've ever tried this. It's really, really helpful. And what happens is your skin rehydrates and then begins to draw out what's kind of drying it out, that stuff that's on the ends, just on the under layer of the epidermis. I know I put an R in there. What it's supposed to? Epidermis. Epidermis. Been in the South a little too long. Excuse me. they Epsom salt baths or Epsom salt soaks, or if you don't have that option, like a kind of almost a sponge bath kind of concept, you get a moist washcloth or something and sprinkle Epsom salt on it, and then just kind of like exfoliate your body with it. And you can let it sit there for a little bit. You don't have to worry about rinsing it right off. If it, it can irritate the skin after a short time. This repairs and uh, rehydrates the skin, removes toxins. You can then absorb things. It's so much better if you can take a bath with it, but not everybody has that available to them. So that's something that you might want to try. Then you'll notice right after you start doing that, I've had people talk about this. They're like, as soon as I started doing that, not very long after, all of a sudden, my body started breaking out. So I must be allergic. And honestly, I'm not, okay, obviously, I'm not a medical professional. However, this is my own experience, is that when I've done that, I'm noticing that my body can now finally purge. It's like I've opened up the pores and my body's now finally able to purge. You'll notice like it to last for a very short time, probably, and then it's gone, and then it resolves itself. So, but use your own discernment for sure. Lyra says, Oh wait, I grabbed that one before. Yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really happy about that. Can't wait to hear more about the retreat. Okay, thank you for bringing that up. We should do that. I mean, I am super duper excited, guys. This is going to be so much fun, and I know that you're here to listen to Ascension Symptoms, and we are not done with that. So please keep that in mind, and thank you for your patience. That there's this retreat we're doing is going to be in Mount Ida, here in the most sacred part of this part of the country. And this is really why we moved so far across the world, to this location, is that the crystals pop up out of the ground. They just pop up out of the ground. Literally, you guys can go back and see some of the shorts on my YouTube channel here, and you'll see like there's the white ones that just pop at the top of the ground there. That's the milky quartz, beautiful stones. You'll also get the clear quartz over there, but we're actually going to be going right next door. There's an amazing diamond mine and a crystal mine, and that's part of the package. You don't have to pay anything extra to do this. Or that's going to be the activities we're going to do. One of the days we're going to go get diamonds. You're going to get to take diamonds home. There's no guarantee you're going to find diamonds, but it's really, really likely. Crystals are much easier to come by, of course. You're going to take home crystals with you. So anyone coming, if you're flying, I would strongly encourage you to bring an extra suitcase, because you're going to want to bring home with you those crystals. So anyway, some of them can be quite large that we're finding. Anyhow, on top of that, we're going to have cacao ceremonies. We're going to have sound healing ceremonies. We're going to do channeling sessions. We're going to do group meditations every day. We're going to do yoga every day. We're going to do fireside channelings every night. The location that we're going to be in, the sky is so clear, absolutely zero light pollution of any kind. In the middle, of June, it's the beautiful sky. We're going to see all kinds of stuff. We're going to bring a telescope with us for even deeper gazing, though you don't even need, you can see the Milky Way clear as day. It's the most fun thing to realize that cloud you're looking at has the stars in front of it. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's not a cloud. Those are stars. That's the Milky Way. In the sacred Ouachita mountains, and just right next to the Ouachita National Forest here. And on top of that, where we are located, the retreat the venue will be at is actually on sacred land, where there's only things like this ever occurring. The way that this venue works is the last one group they had there were the monks. So anyway, it's a very oh yeah, there's a beautiful, amazing actually, quartz vein that runs across that property, and so you get to see some really cool stuff. I'm going to show you guys something just very quickly, and because this is so cool. This is like really. I always do that for some reason. Okay, I'm just going to show you guys real quick, and then go back to the Ascension symptoms. Is it showing? There it goes. Now I have to go back to over here to grab it. So this is where we're going to be at. I'm just going to speed forward a little bit and show you guys. Like this forest is just so beautiful, and this is all the venue that she's driving through here. So first building, and so this is one that we can rent rooms for. So we're doing renting by bed. That's a building with several rooms in it, and this really cool patio and barbecues. There's several barbecues. There's fire pits. There's a lake or ponds on the land. It's doing the same thing it did last time. So I'm just going to go ahead and just stop from there. But there's also the tiny houses that we can rent from, and it's just really a cool, awesome venue spot, so I'm really super excited about it. Oh no, install my system. I can't see my screen. There we go. Good, I'm back. So anyway, it's going to be so amazing. We're going to have cacao ceremonies. We're bringing drums, my Native American flute. We're bringing all kinds of awesome healing modalities and abilities. I'm bringing the medicine cards. I know that Layla Wynn is she's the one that's the yoga instructor. She's also bringing cards. Consciously Erin's going to be there. The human Schumann, she's going to be there doing ceremonies and readings and classes with us too. It's going to be so much fun. And there's only 33 tickets, and we're doing that so it can remain intimate. So we can interact with each other. When we get bigger than that, it's also cool, but you'll notice that there ends up being like, not everybody gets to connect and talk with everybody. I want to connect with everybody regularly throughout. So that's why we have it so intimate. And we've made it affordable. It's only $555 for 3 days. And you're being fed dinners and snacks, and you're getting crystals and diamonds and the beautiful landscape that we get to have. There's 15 acres of forest we can explore there on the land. And that whole site, it's amazing. And all of the things that are involved in the ceremonies are part of the package. There's my daughter's busy making you all presents too, and it's just going to be really, really cool. So anybody who's interested, the link is in the description of this video. So thank you very much, Kavana. Double glitch, second Friday the 13th. Glitches be snitching left and right. Oh, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Will me and Flip be a couple again in 2026? Oh, Philippe. I don't typically do romantic. I have a thing about that. The years, over the years, particularly starting in high school, when I ended up doing kind of matchmaking kind of stuff, it ended up being quite a burden because when people are celebrating, then they would have to come tell me, and when they were having difficulty, they'd have to come tell me. And for those of you who know me, I'm not a very social person, and I'm happy for you and everything, but I just don't want to have to be expected to be available all the time. So I told Spirit, I don't want romantic stuff from people. And so very rarely, sometimes I will, but very, very rarely will I get it, even if I try, because I asked Spirit, I don't want it. I don't want it. I send love to you, Maria, and I hope for balance and love in your life. I do see you'll have a lot of love in your life. See, I can see that. And I can see that the joy and celebration that you have before you is you haven't even scraped the surface of what joy and happiness will be like. And so you're just at the beginning phases of this way in your world. So you're going to have an amazing life with this in the way of love and of completion and celebration. Moonfire Magic 777, you have a cool name. When wondering what was going on with my eyes, they replied, we want you to see things differently, expand the frequencies. Oh, beautiful. And yeah, Yeah, we're meant to see beyond what we've been limiting ourselves to see, right? And that takes some time. It's a gradual motion in toward. And often people will start to think that they're actually losing their sight. Like they'll see things coming in and out of focus and they think there's something wrong and they need more corrective lenses or something like that. When in fact, what it is that we're starting to, just as you're saying, we're being shown something's there so you know to look for it, right? Just like we have amazing overnight kind of experience. It's like, whoa, that was so profound. When then later on, a lot of times we'll remark, why would they show me something like that and then stop, then not let me know how? Right? And they're showing you that it's there so you'll learn to reach it. It's that they're not trying to, like, abandon you or anything like that. They're showing you it's there, so then you can, reach to it. Maya says, I took hot bath with pink salt and stopped when I got red rashes. I understand now that it wasn't wrong. I'll try again. Thank you. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I also will do that. I'll one thing that I do notice is that after such a bath, I'll want to rinse off right after, because then it kind of does something to the surface of our skin if it just kind of sits on the skin. So it's just something to keep in mind. Mela lives in the land of ceremony. Yeah, it's going to be really fun. And the thing is about being over there on this really cool property is that it's on 333, such sacred land, that there's actually not any, from what I understand, people, like only one company can get reception out there. I'm not even sure if that's a reliable reception. So, like, to me, that's a powerful point. That we are going to be in this beautiful, amazing location. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's going to be so cool. Hi, guys. Sorry I'm late. Good to see you, Vegan Vixen. Welcome. Just got back from rushing down to my baby grandson who was in distress. Any homeopaths here? He has a sore bottom and is crying in pain. I'm sure you probably got a lot of responses since then. Sorry to hear about your grandbaby. Also, a lot of people will tell you different things, and so this is something that I'm aware of, is that if you or have access to an aloe plant, I'm not giving medical advice, Kay. This is what I've done. Is if you have an aloe plant, I prefer the fresh aloe, and I would add it to coconut oil and just a little bit, just to kind of like create some type of a salve with it, and just a real thin layer of it. It was remarkable how quickly your skin can heal from those types of things. And the coconut oil, I added it because the aloe just didn't seem to stay where I put it. You know what I mean? Like at first. So use your own discernment. And, everybody consider allergies and stuff. I don't know. AG, good to see you. Hello, Mela. I'm having sciatica pain on my right hip and groin. And the emotional stuff has been crazy. I'm glad I am not the only one out there going through it. Yeah. So I'm actually noticing the left side. And a lot of people are talking about the left side, but that doesn't mean that one side is wrong and one side is right. It's just everyone has a different experience. The location, the side of the body, it also tells us a story. So the right side is the divine masculine side. Now, that does not imply or mean to imply anything about gender. That's just the divine energy. Divine feminine is on the left side. Men have stuff going on the left side just as much as women have stuff going on the right side, right? Anyway, keeping in mind that is it. It helps you to understand a little bit of the message behind it too, because your body is always talking to you. These symptoms are a conversation of our body talking to us, as well as a variety of other things. For instance, the dormant DNA that's in our form, we have a lot of dormant DNA in our bodies, and that dormant DNA is turning on. And as it comes out of dormancy, because, I don't know if anyone here remembers, but I know I've remarked on this a handful of times, is that in the old days, they would teach us, the old days, when I was in school, we had to walk to school uphill both ways, no shoes. Anyway, is they would tell us that 90 to 95% of your DNA was junk DNA. I would be insulted by that. Like, I would be like, don't lie to me. That was so obvious that they were lying. And it seemed like everybody else just kind of accepted that that was true. I don't know if they really did, or that was just the way that they got through school, but I was a new student. I hadn't been in school. I didn't have that indoctrination process, and I was appalled. What do you call me, a platypus? I'm all the leftover parts. There's no way. Anyway, turns out, no surprise, 90 to 95% of our DNA has been dormant DNA. And as that dormant DNA comes out of dormancy, comes online, then it causes a series of experiences in our body. And we now have, as a result of that, access to a greater number of qualities and abilities within our physical form. There's growing pains associated, though. And so we're feeling it. As these things come out of dormancy, it doesn't feel all that great. But we can have an idea of what's going on by our body's conversation with us. And so this specifically having to do with the spine and purging. The purging of the spine, in particular for you, AG, there is stuff having to do with and this is no judgment. They're just giving me clear information to share with you. It would be advisable to consider the types of things that you're eating, and to try to eat a little bit more like raw fruit and vegetable kind of food, and to rely a little bit less on perhaps, some maybe it's processed. I'm seeing a lot of grain kind of stuff, but they're talking about that, and there's no judgment at all. Like, I mean, I love pasta and bread. I do. I'm finding myself more and more choosing to to eat the other things that are available. However, they're specifically talking about that for you. And I'm telling you about my life so you won't feel like there's judgment there, because that happens, right? We live in this world, and in this world, there's a variety of different types of things that we've been raised to enjoy. And so it slowly becomes difficult to slowly move away from that. But that will help. Considering that has to do with purging in the spine. The spine needs to purge some of the stuff that you've kind of collected over the years. That's all. Good morning, everyone from Australia. This is Zeta. Good to see you. Welcome. The free spirit says, hello, Mela. Came in late. At least I got to your show. Things are crazy. Had some issues, but I'm taking care of them. Sending much love to you and to your little one. Thank you so much. It's good to see you. I've missed the two of you. So welcome. They go good. Thank you for your response. This is the response from Vegan Vixen. Cool your baby down first and get the inflammation down with a cold pack or a cool bathtub. Later, use a warm bath with Epsom salt and lavender oil. Once dries, apply zinc oxide ointment to the area. Thank you, Buffalo Lounder Dog. I think I'm saying that right. Buffalo Underdog. There we go. I don't know why spaces make it so much easier to read things, but that's just how it works. So thank you for your response. I took an aloe vera leaf down and we put the sap on him. Awesome. He is teething like mad, but he's tough, strong and healthy, unvaxxed. So any idea which is the best homeopathic remedy to neutralize the acid? Thank you so very much. And for your response, Buffalo Underdog 1111. Let's see. Aloe will neutralize acid. Use cool frozen teething rings. Coconut milk will also neutralize. Oh, that's probably why. See, because here's the thing. honestly, the stuff that we do, the stuff that I've done over the years, I get intuitively from spirit. And so I don't pretend to know what I'm talking about. I just know that I've followed this intuitive guidance. And so now you say the coconut milk will also neutralize. That makes sense that I use coconut oil. Um, it was just something that we did for my daughter when she was little, when there was issues with that. So Red Pill Gamers says, "You keep me alive. I swear I feel like amnesia comes over me everything I've experienced, first-hand experience with reptiloid and human trafficking. I'm sorry that you're having so much experience with this, and I'm glad that you're able to find a place to communicate with everybody. So welcome. I can't find the website link for the retreat information. Several other links, maybe a brain fog ascent. Okay, I do. Let me grab that for you really quickly, and I'll just post it here in the comments. Thank you for looking and for letting me know. Let me copy that and coming back. This is a shared website with our great friend Layla Wind. She's actually the one that's helping put this together, and she's amazing. Here it is. This she's um, created and run several different retreats. And so her experience that she brings to the table, I really truly appreciate. Retreats in particular, I've actually never done a retreat before. And so it's super exciting to get to do this. We're here, this location, the place we are is where a lot of the indigenous people of the this continent would gather together in order to at every summer solstice, in order to heal and to uplift their own bodies and their own spiritual, every body, the emotional, the etheric, and the physical body. The mineral mud they would roll into little balls and put them in knapsacks and take them home and eat them like multivitamins. That mud that we're talking about, we're going to do mineral mud baths with it. There's going to be um, the mineral water right there. There's a fresh spring. So if you drive here, if you want, I encourage you to bring containers, because there's a free spring that we're going to go to at one point. It's just right down the road from the retreat, and you can collect all the spring water that you want. And it's mineral water, but it doesn't have like that sulfur flavor to it that a lot of mineral waters will when you cut them from a natural spring. And also there's this area is also famous for its hot springs. That's not something that we're going to probably go to, though you can while you're here. There's also hot tub here and at the location and stuff like that. It's really, really super powerful spiritual place. Um, and because we're keeping it to be a small enough group, we're all going to be able to like kind of move around a little bit, meaning we're going to do some activities outside of the venue and be able to like transport people, so it's going to be really awesome. I'm super excited. And if you're interested, there's the link right there. The Soul Arboration Retreat. And that's what the picture looks like. We decided to keep it down to most of these kinds of retreats start around $1,000, and you can find them up to $5,000. I've discovered, if it's just local, meaning in the same country. But then these other ones are different. And we're the love offering we're providing here is for $555 for 3 days. And if you want to do the 5-day package, then it's $111 for each additional day. And we're going to do special things for people who want to stay the extra 2 days. So it's going to be really, really fun. If you do get a chance to come out here, and, even if we weren't doing any of the other activities, it would still be worth the trip, because the camaraderie, the companionship, the love, the group live group meditations and stuff like that are going to be so useful and helpful and long lasting for you. That kind of healing, the hugs, the love, the compassion, and just the, you know, being with soul family is so healing and so powerful that we carry it with us for many months to come. Yeah, so thank you very much for asking that question, Kavana. Hi, happy healing, sunshine vibes all around. Thank you, Lavender Sky Panther. For anyone who missed it, I had a great show with Lavender Sky Panther with Varley a couple of days ago. I think it was on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. If you missed it, check it out. It was a really awesome conversation. One of the most enjoyable conversations I've had, so it's really cool. The P factor, we are talking pH, my fave topic. It's funny too, is pH are my initials for my given name. Isn't that funny? Yeah, I'm also P hard. And my mom didn't even notice that my dad made that joke until I was 21. And her boyfriend, my mom's boyfriend, had to notice it, that I'm P hard. Every one of my first jobs, the ones that you type in into the register that you're clocking out, and it pops out P hard, and then your name tag P hard. And at one point I did a job where I was the assistant manager at a gas station. It was like a second job for a little while. And they had my name tag say P hard ass man. Instead of assistant manager. It was so, and like, I don't know. I mean, that was just a funny joke. But anyway, yeah, that's my name. It's my given name. Do you know how to remove bacteria? I'm sorry. No, I'm not sure how to say that. There's only a few words like this where I've only ever read them, and this is one of them. Anyway, from mucus lungs. Taking antibiotic inhalation to remove it, but it comes back and causes inflammation. Now, I can tell you this, is that I'm not a medical professional, and I don't pretend to be. So this is something that to use your own discernment. I'm only speaking from my personal experience, is that I have found that the removal the removal of any kind of mucus from our bodies always causes whole health and assisting us, in a variety of different ways. And so I don't know exactly what this is that you're specifically talking about. I can only say this, that breathing in clean water that has been, that's been, the temperature's been raised up to near or boiling, and put into a bowl, and allowing yourself to humidify your lungs, to what's going on inside of most people's lungs. Again, I'm not a medical professional, but I see energetically into people, and most of what we have going on is there's chunks of dried mucus in our lungs, and our body needs to have that humidity breathed in, and so it can re-moisturize that mucus, and it can leave our bodies. All right, so I have no idea what you're talking about regarding a specific diagnosis. I'm not trying to pretend I know. This is what I do, though. So I'll boil water, clean water. I'll put it in a bowl. I'll put it on a surface that I know it's not going to spill on my body, because you don't want to get burned. That stuff sucks, right? And then I'll put in like rosemary or pine oil, or eucalyptus is really popular. It depends on your region too. I noticed that if it comes from something nearby to you, it does help. And even if you don't have any of those things and you're just inhaling the water, that will also work. And what you do is you put a towel over your head, over the top of the bowl, like you've seen before. You probably know what I'm talking about already. And let yourself breathe that in. Now, be careful. For those of you never having tried this before, you don't want to just throw your face over the top of it and put a towel on, because it might be really hot, and that steam can burn. So please use your own, judgment, and make good decisions to not hurt yourself. If it's overwhelming, you can use the towel for at first, or wait. Anyway, breathing that in, really deep breaths, and then letting it out. You'll notice that your body will start to cough more. Another thing that I do regularly, and this is something that I truly do regularly, probably once a week, maybe less than that, but it seems like that, is that I will either drink the tea of mullein. Mulleine's also known as lamb's ear, or I will even smoke it. I know it sounds weird. It's not like cigarette smoke. You're not like breathing it in like you would if you're an ex-smoker or something like that. Please don't do it that way. It's gentle breaths, because it's more like the smoke of a campfire than it is, any other kind of thing. And, use your own discernment, please. This will inspire the stuff to come up, the mucus to start to move up out of your body. Some to the point where often when I'll do this, the next morning I'll wake up and like I'll notice, like it feels like I've got mucus in my stomach, because it's like I'm puking. It feels like I'm puking. If I'm not, then that's what it feels like anyway. The amount of mucus that's coming out of my body, we all have it. We all have that mucus, and it's about getting it out, getting it off, and those dried pieces, once you re-moisturize them, they more than double in size typically. And so it's a lot of mucus to get out, so a little bit at a time. Patience is the best suggestion here, is letting yourself do it in small doses. You probably won't notice it all coming out all right away. Also, really hot steam of any kind, you can just do it be in the shower, breathing that steam will really help. Anything like that. I know there's humidifiers people buy that like put water and stuff into the air. I don't speak to that because I don't use that system for no real purpose. I just don't have one. So use your own discernment there. But yeah, pee hard is good because your waters are bursting. Right? Yeah. Yeah, the name tag is Ass Man Pee Hard. Yeah, it was really funny. And no one seemed to notice it, which I thought was even more hilarious. Oh my gosh, the keep the giggles popping, yo. Yeah, it was so hilarious. I couldn't believe it. And the reason that my mom even found out about it, I'd put it on the mailbox. I was living with my boyfriend, and we had my boyfriend's name first because the P hard, it was his initial and last name, and and then my initial and last name made it be, right. And he started to laugh, my mom's boyfriend, on the porch. And then my mom was like, what? He told her the joke. Thing is there's 10 of us kids, and my parents traded back and forth who picked names. And when I was born, my dad picked my name, and my mom didn't know why. Berta says, do people irritate you, especially relatives and colleagues? Oh man, they don't know how to talk unless they gossip. I started running away from people. Berta, I totally get you. I hear you. I am a very lucky person. I have historically always been so. It's just, I am so grateful that the vast majority of the people that I interact with want to talk about spiritual stuff. They want to talk about ascension symptoms, crystals. Some people want to go kind of dark, and those are the individuals that I feel like what you're talking about, But on occasion, there are those types of things. There's people who want to talk about politics or things like that, and that's the best way to get a glassy-eyed response from me. You know what I mean? I'm just like, right on. I mean, to each their own. But I can definitely tell you that when the energies are in a particular way, especially, I'm very conscientious. I'm very aware of mixed crowds and to avoid them. because of this. I don't want to transmute anyone's energy when I'm busy transmuting my own, you know? And so uh, it's been very fascinating to see that most of the time when there's a global kind of energy happening, then there's like events that we're being invited to or that people want us to come to. And it's like, it's fascinating. Mixed group kind of things like parades and fairs and things like that. So it's kind of funny. But yeah. So yes, definitely. And I feel like though I'm very blessed. I'm very lucky to be where I live because there's a lot of people, an astonishing number of people here and located in here in the surrounding area who are incredibly spiritual people who are aware of energies and ascension symptoms. In fact, I met someone in public who wanted to explain to me what ascension symptoms were. They were super excited that I noticed the energy was all shifty and being crazy, and she wanted, these are ascension symptoms. Let me tell you about it. It was like, oh, that was so much fun. To have someone try to tell me what ascension symptoms were. That's where I live, and that's where our party's going to be at Mount Ida. If you're curious to look it up, the Ouachita National Forest is right there. There's a whole bunch of different. This is a popular site for rock hounds and things like that. During the summer months, you'll get more tourists coming in to the area. But where we're going to be at, we're just off. In fact, we're technically not even in Mount Ida. We're in a place called Sims, SIMS, where we'll be located. Though we're going to be in the forest. We're going to be in this most remarkable place where there's all those tiny homes that'll be rented by the room, and then they have the bigger the guest house place that'll be rented by the room. And it's just going to be such a cool place, such a cool gathering place just by itself. But then with the intention of what we're doing there, it's going to be amazing, and it'll help us feel more regulated, so it's easier to go into large groups and do that kind of mixed crowd kind of stuff that we end up needing to do at some point, right? So yeah, rock hounding is awesome. It is so much fun, and it's really cool too. You drive around Mount Ida and you have all of these, especially when this time when the clouds have parted, and now you have everybody pulling out their tables, and their front yards are just covered in these tables with these massive diamonds, or not diamonds but crystals specifically. There'll also be selling diamonds around here too, but I really am excited to go to the diamond mine. I haven't done that yet, though. It's really cool how it's just going to be us. The way that it works out is that there's like a group that's goes in at a time, and it's just going to be really neat. Just be us in there. You know what I mean? Doing the mining and getting to take home what you find, and we're also going to be doing a lot of other kinds of outings similar to this, though that's the one that I haven't done yet. So and while we're out there, just the venue that we'll be on, the location that we're going to be at is right on top of this big. We're not going to be mining this area. We're not going to put any holes in this ground. However, it's a sacred site. It's one of many in the area due to the fact that there's this massive quartz crystal vein that runs all throughout this area, but specifically where we'll be at. So just walking on that land, you'll feel it. Like that crystal has been in that earth for who knows how long, right? And how do you clean crystals? You put them in the earth. You know, that takes longer for sure, but these ones have been down there long enough that they're pure and they're awesome. And just walking on that land, it's like walking on a drum. It will reverberate the energy to you and rejuvenate you in each step. And then the water runs over it, and we're going to drink that water. We get the natural water from the just right there. You know, it's not plumbed. You know, there's no plumbing about that water. It's not grid water. You know what I mean? It's really cool. So, yeah, of course. Thank you. It's good to see you, AG. I went to a Bad Bunny concert here in Australia. OMG, the energy at first was so intense and not in a good way. Has anyone felt that before? Oh, heck yeah. Yeah. Uh, Zeta, I think is how, but because I think that's your last name in there. But yeah, in fact, there's been times where I've gone to things and I've said, um, I'm not, going to stay here because the energy was just collectively pushed in a different direction. You know, it almost felt like it was on purpose, and it's not impossible to consider that. That does occur. However, um, there have been times I've stayed at things. The whole time it's just been a difficult experience, and the boyfriend at the time chalked it up as me behaving as an introvert, um, and it wasn't that. It was the whole time. There was contrary energy coming in, you know, and so use your own discernment. Yeah, yeah. See, Lavender Sky Panther says same thing. Yes, at a concert near Miami once, I left immediately. And sometimes we've invested enough that we don't want to lose our investment, and so we stay. And not always do we think that was a good idea. It's up to the person. However, if you do end up staying, you can assist. You can assist, but it feels kind of sacrificial, self-sacrificial, because what we end up doing is we end up absorbing the energy, and then we transmute it because we don't like it. And so then we transmute it for everybody, right? In Sanskrit, the Ida is the vulva and the Pingala is the penis. I don't know why those words make me giggle. I'm definitely old enough to say those words. That's funny. Yeah, that's interesting. That's the Ida, huh? Well, we're going to be at Mount Ida. So, Diamond, Day Moon. Yeah, it's going to be really a cool thing that day. If you said Mount Ida, Mela, I did say Mount Ida. I did. Mount Ida is the biggest town. And I don't even know how many people, what kind of population you have in that town, but it's not very large. It's probably its largest would be based on um uh like summertime hours, probably, because it would have like a lot of like summer vacationers. Kind of, that's the vibe of that area. So but it's pretty small. It's really really quaint and awesome. If you check it out on Google Maps and check and see, there are things in Mount Ida. There's diners, and there's a I think the grocery store is called Bob's. I'm pretty sure I'm correct about that. I find that to be very entertaining and cute. Um, Stuff like that. There are things. There are grocery stores and places you can eat if you want to eat out or something like that. But we will be having dinners made. So those are going to be healthy meals. They're going to be vegan meals, and they are going to be delicious. I'm really super excited. Layla Wynn's going to be the cook, and she's a very very good cook. And if you don't like it, it's okay. If you don't want to eat that way, or you want to bring something else into the world, into your diet, definitely bring in your own groceries, or go out to these diners. There's a lot of different options. We're also going to be offering snacks throughout the day, so this is another one of those words, charcuterie board. See, I know I didn't say it right, and that's okay. I feel like that I conveyed the message. That kind of thing. And drinks throughout the day and stuff like that. I'm also going to I make my own tea mixes with like dried awesome things, and making my own tea. And so I'm going to bring some of those and offer you guys some examples, just as like a fun thing. You don't have to have it, but it's going to be cool. So um, I'm just so super looking forward to it. So anybody who can come, it's going to be one of those things that you're going to remember this forever, you know. Zeta says, I quickly protected myself and called upon the angels, and suddenly it felt okay. Strange that I could feel energy going up my legs. Awesome. This is a really good example. I'm glad that I saw this comment before I left today's call or show. Is that, yeah, you can choose your reality by choosing to stand in the power that you are. And most of us require have learned to require or expect um, some type of outside assistance. And so calling on those that you feel most protected by, calling on the angels, specific archangels, or even religious figures of different kinds, um, that makes you feel comforted. What the goal here is to feel safe, to feel empowered, and to feel protected. And so it doesn't really, to me, matter by what means that is obtained, is because once you are able to stand in your power, then you choose your reality. Just as the stuff that's been going on the past couple of weeks, time and time again, that book, that reference in Matthew 24. I don't pretend to be a very versed person in the Bible anymore, but I do know that reference has been happening a lot. Spirit brought that up again too. And those of you that know me know that I don't get, Spirit doesn't remind me, doesn't suggest that I like read the Bible usually, but they made reference to this particular passage, and it says that there will be rumors of war, there will be rumors of famine, there will be rumors of many things, though they will not touch you, for you are the chosen ones. Or it's also worded in different translations as you are the elect. You'll be spared, because the Bible doesn't explain it, and I don't expect it to. A lot of the most useful explanation was removed. However, they do say, um, that anyway, what's happening is that we are not actually existing in the world where these realities are happening, where these things are actually truly occurring. We are in a different frequency, a different world, but they exist among one another, um, like a Russian nesting doll, where you have a doll upon a doll upon a doll upon a doll, and they all look like the same doll. They're all the same world, but they're different. And though they are perpendicular and overlapped, they still are not affecting one another as you would have thought, as we have learned to expect. Choosing not to participate in a reality is often really the only thing we need to do to step away from that reality and to not have it be in this part of in this world. So anyway, I should get going. I can't believe it's already been an hour, over an hour. I thank you all so very much for being here on the show today, and for all of your lovely questions and comments. I look forward to seeing everything that you all have to write in the comments. And thank you all for being here, for just being you, for being the loving, compassionate, caring beings that you are. You make this channel, you make my life, and I want to say thank you very much to each and every one of you. I am floored with the deepest joy and the deepest appreciation for each and every one of you who've made this channel be the channel. I know people try to give credit to me, though. I wouldn't show up if you guys didn't. You know what I mean? And it's a shared experience. And so thank you from the deepest part of my heart. Thank you very much. I love you. I know it's hard right now. It feels uncertain, and there's some stuff that kind of feels scary. And then on top of that, I feeling this weird floaty, otherworldly kind of experience that we're having when we're moving to higher and different dimensions. It can feel uncertain, and I want you to know you're okay. We're okay. We got this. And being full of love and full of choice, you find your power. And then you get to decide, what world are you going to choose today? I don't know about you, but I'm choosing the world full of love. And yeah, in the worlds that are full of love, that also is a world where you are more than encouraged to stand in your power and say no, to set your boundaries, and to choose to not participate in things that are unaligned for you. I know a lot of you are joining right now as we're closing today's show because crazy thing happened. We had daylight savings here this morning. And so we're an hour off from y'all for now until y'all have your daylight savings. If you do, I know some places don't. It makes more sense to not, honestly. So good to see you, Rockstar M55. Sending you love, sending all of you love, and thank you all for being here. Hey, I've been on for 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds. Time to go. Sending you so much love. Aho bless.